has done about, as I say, 65,000, and the rate I use it, you know, it's I'm not going to have any problems, hopefully. If I do, it's not too difficult to get these V8s out. And interestingly, this 4.4 V8 is £600 lighter than the L Series V8. And the aficionados, in other words the non-engineers, they all want the L Series engine because they equate the old V8 with they think it's like a Merlin out of a Spitfire. Well, I can tell them and you that the aero division of Rolls-Royce and the car division of Rolls-Royce were poles apart, and the engines were never going to be anywhere near as sophisticated as the aero devices. I mean, right up until, well, virtually the late 50s, they were using a inlet over exhaust 4.4 litre engine. I think it was 4.4 litre, and it was whisper smooth. But basically, people didn't want power; they wanted the luxury more than speed. So, you know, if you wanted the speed, you bought a Jag. If you wanted the class, you didn't. So I've had to do a fair bit of remedial work because latterly the last owner, who was a garage proprietor, he didn't go to Bentley or Rolls-Royce to have it serviced. He went to some Asian owned place up in London somewhere, and they were not kind. I've had to redo everything. Everything underneath. They didn't take care of the fittings. I had to redo everything where they'd broken plastic and just done a mess. But most of it's now sorted. Hopefully the engine will keep going for many years. It'll probably last me out anyway, I hope. Oh, I'll shut the bonnet down. There we are. Now, as I said, this one's 22 years old. It was the first Arnage to come out, and it's the very last all British design and built motor car with a BMW with an English tuned engine. And she goes really well. As I say, she's not as fast as the T series, that's the 6.75 twin turbo, but she's good for 150, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, which, believe me, in a 2.5 ton car feels pretty swift. It's very quiet and it's a joy to drive. It's rather heavy steering because Bentleys, they like you to have feel. Well, I like my power steering dead light, which is like on my Subaru Forester. But this one has more feel in it, and apparently that's what the pundits want. Don't think there's much else to say. Just have a quick look inside. The leather was all in good condition. I've done repair work on pretty well every aspect of the car over the last year. People that own these, I mean, obviously they're not engineers, they're not enthusiasts, so you have to follow them and put things right. The sort of things that garages wouldn't be bothered with. And where they don't get used, the electrics suffer. This one, for example, the motors in the seats, some of them are working, some of them aren't, which is a job for me to do. I've got to take the motors out and check to see if they can be they might be okay. It might just be the drive mechanisms that need work, but that's pretty low down the priority list for me at the moment. The main thing was getting her ready for the MOT, which was, perfectly okay. As I say, there were no issues. Let's look in the passenger side. There's the MOT on the seat, all done and dusted. and it's a lovely comfortable car. You know, if you're going somewhere and you want a bit of comfort, this is the vehicle to use. Doesn't get a great deal of use. As I say, I'm a bit of an enthusiast, being ex-Rolls-Royce, so I stick with it. The thing I like about the Arnage is it's very understated, and it looks ordinary, so it gets left alone, which wasn't the case with my Rolls. That used to get beaten up a bit. People used to kick it and do all sorts of nasty things to it. And it was the colour was such that it was attracted attention. It was a sort of a claret colour. This one being silver, everyone's got a silver car. It looks very ordinary. There are no badges all over it. Just the little B's now and then. The only place where it says what the car is as you open the door. And there it says on the stainless steel kick plate. Don't know if you can see it. It says Arnage. That's the only place that you'll see it. The nice thing is the heating is really good. Split level. Considering it's 22 years old, they sorted most of it out. It's got a very good 4-speed automatic transmission with sport mode. If you put it in sport with kick down, it will fly, but obviously you use a lot of petrol. I tend to just roll around gently in it, and as I say, it's really rather good. Uses less petrol than my mate's Range Rover. Anyway, I think that's this MOT walk around done, and the next car to be MOT'd will be at the end of this month, and hopefully I'll do a walk around then. As I say, none of my cars are new. I've got no interest in anything new. If I wanted a new car, I'd buy one, I suppose, but I don't. This is a bit special, and there aren't many of them compared to the modern German derived Bentleys. It's in a slightly different league. I always advise people to avoid the new ones, the 5.3 litre W12s. There are issues. They are extremely quick, mind you. They've got over 550 horsepower, some of them 600 horsepower. That's an awful lot more than this one. This one's got 350 horsepower, and it will shove along this 2.5 ton beast at a reasonable speed, but it's not a sports car. If I wanted a sports car, I suppose I'd get one. Years ago, when I just finished college, I had an E-Type, and I didn't really like that thing, and now they're worth a fortune, of course, but I've never made any money on motor cars. Well, I did on the Silver Cloud, but then considering the work I did on it, I'm not surprised. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. So mid-October walk around, Bentley Arnage 1998 4.4 litre twin turbo V8.